Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So as you can see today, I'm going to be showing you how I achieved this smoky eye look. I used to be terrified of doing smoky eyes because I felt like I was gonna look like a panda or it was coming out sloppy. But a lot of times it may look sloppy in the beginning, but trust me, if you keep going, it'll come through. It'll come out perfect. So I'm gonna show you some techniques that I use to make the whole smoky eye process a little bit easier. It is time consuming because it is a lot of blending. Again, it's a smoky eye, so you don't want to have like any harsh lines. You want everything to be blown out and smoked out. So if you want to see how I got this look, then just keep watching. So I already put concealer on my face, just kind of like the base. I did my eyebrows. I'm going to go ahead and bake under my eyes with a loose powder. Baking under the eyes will help prevent any fallout from the eyeshadow, just messing up the concealer or like the foundation that you already have on the face. So that's why I always like to put some powder before I go in and start my eyeshadow. Over here, I wanted to create like a sharp edge with the smoky eye, so I'm creating that sharp edge with the powder, and it'll help me stay kind of like within the lines when I'm putting on my eyeshadow. I'm taking any black eyeliner, and I'm going to be putting this as the base for the black smoky eye. I feel like this step is so important because it'll help the color come out more vibrant, and I just wanted it to be as black as possible, so I'm just going in and just putting on the eyeliner pretty much everywhere over the lid and just creating the shape that I want for the smoky eye. And I'm going to go ahead and like fast forward that because it does take quite a while. But here you guys can see just the whole process and everything I'm doing. Now with a blending brush, I'm just going to go ahead and buff out the edges. This step isn't too tricky, like you don't have to be super precise with it. I go all over the lid and just buff out all the edges of the liner that I put down. So here you can see just how it looks. It already looks smoky. So I'm going on the other eye and doing the same thing, except this time I decided to do the outline of the crease first and then just fill in the empty space beneath that line that I had already created. And once again, we're going to go ahead and blend. You're going to hear me say blend a lot in this video because we are going to be blending a lot. So I wanted to intensify the black, and I'm going to go ahead right now and just add more black liner on top of the black liner that I had already put. And I'm just going to intensify it and darken it up. Again, you don't have to be too precise with this because you do go in and blend out the edges. So it's okay if it's not completely straight because you go in and we're going to buff it out right now. So from all of the blending, I noticed that the sharp line that I had created with the powder was going away, so I just kind of applied more powder just to make sure that I kept that, you know, sharp, smoky eye look. And again, we're blending. And here you can see the difference between just one layer of eyeliner and then the two layers. I'm going in with the Jaclyn Hill and Morphe palette, and I'm taking the shade Smooth Criminal. And I'm applying that right on the edges of where I smoked out the black liner because I want the smoky eye to go from black to brown. So I'm just applying that right on the edges and just blending it upwards. So as there's less product on the brush, I'm going to keep blending it up towards the brow bone. A few years ago, if my smoky eye would have been looking like this, I probably would have stopped right there and not continued any further. But in this video, you see that I just blend out, add a little bit more color, blend it out more, add more color, and I feel like that's the best technique to get a smoky eye. It's better to start with a little bit of color and gradually add more than to apply too much and then not be able to take it off. So here you can see that the brown is smoked out a little bit more as opposed to when I first put it on. Here I grabbed a bigger blending brush and I'm just going to be buffing out the edges of the brown and blending it up towards the brow bone. I'm also going to be blending the black into the brown, so that way it kind of gives it a nice gradient effect and gives you that nice smoky eye that we're going for. I'm going to go into the Jaclyn and Morphe Hill palette and take the shade Temptress, and I'm going to be packing that on the lid with the flat shader brush. Always make sure to tap off the excess, because in that clip you just saw a lot of fallout that came off the brush. Just make sure to tap off the brush before you go ahead on your lid, because if not, a lot of that pigment will fall down onto your face and ruin your makeup. So I'm just going to be packing that black eyeshadow all over the eyeliner that I had previously put on, and then we're just going to go ahead and buff out the edges. I grabbed a smaller, more precise blending brush and I'm just running that over the edge of the black, like where the black meets the brown eyeshadow. That way it can diffuse nicely. And here I'm packing more black eyeshadow on because it did kind of blend away a little bit. And then once I pack more on, I'm going to continue to blend. So like I had mentioned earlier, it's always better to add a little bit of color and then blend it out and then continue doing, altering between those two techniques. Some of the brown pigment had gone away from all the blending, so I did want to intensify the brown a little bit more, so I'm going on and packing more brown right there in the crease. So here you can see how the smoky eye is starting to look and how it's coming together. And here I am just blending more and more. I feel like the key to the smoky eye is just to blend. So now I'm just going to take a little bit more black and just intensify the crease just a tad bit more. Just give it one more good blend. And then we're pretty much going to be done with the eyeshadow. So this is how it looks. The lids are done. Oh, yes, I love it. So moving on, I'm going to tightline with the Kat Von D black eyeliner, and I just used a brush to pull my eyelids up because I didn't want to mess up the eyeshadow that I already placed. So now I just wiped off the excess powder from under the eyes because we're going to go ahead and do the lower lash line. I applied that same liner on the lower waterline, and then we're going to go ahead and start putting eyeshadow. So I went ahead and picked up the brown Smooth Criminal eyeshadow that we had originally placed in the crease, and I'm just going to be putting that and buffing that out on the lower lash line right under the eyeliner. So I kind of want this to be the most bottom color on the lower lash line, and now I picked up the Temptress shade, the black shade, and I'm placing that right above the brown, pretty much kind of like right where the eyeliner is. Now I picked up more of the brown and just started blending out that black that I had placed. I also connected it to that outer straight edge that we had originally created with the powder. I wanted the lower lash line to seamlessly blend with that straight edge. I grabbed the shade Girl Trip, which is a gold shimmery color, and I placed it in the inner corner. And now I'm just bronzing up the face, adding blush, just to finish up the look. The main focus of this makeup look is the eyes, so I wanted to keep everything else on the face very neutral. I wasn't sure which lip color I was going to go with, so I went with a Morphe liquid lipstick, and then I kind of wanted to darken up the edges a little bit, so I applied the Dose of Colors right there on the outer corner. And then with my finger, I just blended out the edges and I blended it into the original Morphe liquid lipstick that I had already placed. So this is the final look. This is the smoky eye. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Don't forget to like and give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. I feel like it came out good. No. Oops, put the volume down. I just want the green, want the money, want the cash flow. I used to be Ah! Don't move my camera. Are we done? Are we done? I think we're done.